Hey everyone, welcome back to Trivia Bench, where we dive into the greatest moments and players in the fun world of all things sports. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a goal, stat, or storyline. Baseball might seem like a game defined by its rulebook: balls, strikes, outs, and innings. But talk to any veteran of the sport and they'll tell you there's another layer, one that isn't written anywhere yet, governs the diamond just as much. These are baseball's unwritten rules, a mysterious, centuries-old code of respect, retaliation, and tradition. Today on Trivia Bench, we're diving deep into the strangest unwritten rules in Major League Baseball, the ones that spark debates, benches clearing, and even a few iconic rivalries. In most sports, the rulebook tells you everything you need to know. Step out of bounds, that's a turnover. Commit a foul, that's a penalty. But in baseball, the real code of conduct often hides in plain sight. These unwritten rules have been passed down through generations of players, taught not by managers but by the veterans in the locker room. They're meant to keep the game respectful. But what respect means in baseball can vary wildly. From when you're allowed to celebrate to how you should react after a home run, these rules can be as strange as they are sacred. Let's start with one of the most controversial. Rule number 1, don't swing on a 3-0 count in a blowout. It's the 9th inning. Your team's up by 10 runs. The pitcher's struggling, and he falls behind 3-0 in the count. In any normal situation, that's a hitter's dream. One more ball, and you're on base. But in baseball's unwritten code, you're supposed to take that next pitch. Swinging at it, especially if you crush a home run, is considered rubbing salt in the wound. This rule blew up in 2020 when Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres hit a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch with his team already leading big. The baseball world exploded. Traditionalists called it disrespectful. Others said, if you don't want a grand slam hit off you, pitch better. In a sport built on statistics and performance, this rule feels out of place to modern players. But for purists, it's about humility, knowing when the game's already won. Rule number 2, don't show up the pitcher. Few things electrify a stadium like a home run. But what happens after the homer can be just as dramatic. Flip your bat too high, take too long to trot around the bases, or stare down the pitcher. You've broken another sacred rule. Don't show up the pitcher means you're supposed to hit, drop your bat, and quietly circle the bases. No flair, no showmanship. Of course, this one's been tested more than any other. From Jose Bautista's famous bat flip in the 2015 postseason, to Ronald Acuna Jr. celebrating after a moonshot, baseball's younger generation has brought swagger to the plate. The response? Sometimes it's a fastball to the ribs in the next at-bat. Retaliation, in baseball's eyes, is part of maintaining balance. But that mindset is fading as fans embrace emotion and individuality on the field. Still, for some pitchers, that unwritten rule is personal, and they'll make sure you know it. Rule number 3, don't bunt to break up a no-hitter. Imagine a pitcher is 8 innings deep into a no-hitter. He's locked in, one of the rarest feats in sports just 3 outs away. If you're on the opposing team and decide to drop a bunt to try and get on base, you might technically be within the rules. But in baseball's unwritten world, you've just committed a serious offense. Why? Because bunting in that moment isn't seen as a genuine attempt to win. It's seen as spoiling history. The pitcher earned that near-perfect outing, and breaking it up with a soft bunt is seen as cheap. There have been heated moments over this, including games where dugouts cleared after someone dared to bunt late in a no-hit bid. But others argue the job of the hitter is to get on base no matter how. If a bunt works, it's fair play. Like most unwritten rules, the debate comes down to respect versus competition. Rule number 4, protect your teammates, retaliate. If they get hit, this is one of baseball's most primal codes. If your teammate gets hit by a pitch, especially if it looks intentional, you're expected to stand up for them. That usually means your pitcher hits one of the opponents the next inning. It's not about hurting anyone, it's about sending a message. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. The roots of this go back to baseball's earliest days, when there were fewer safety measures and less umpire control. But even now, it's alive and well. Entire rivalries have flared up over beanballs and retaliation. Think Yankees versus Red Sox, Dodgers versus Giants. When one side crosses the line, the other answers back. Critics argue this rule promotes unnecessary violence. Supporters call it self-policing, baseball's way of maintaining order without officials stepping in. Either way, it's one of the sport's oldest and most controversial unwritten expectations. Rule number 5, don't steal bases. When you're way ahead. Base stealing is one of the most exciting plays in baseball. The speed, the timing, the daring sprint between bases. But according to baseball's old guard, there's a time and place for it. If your team's up by several runs late in the game, you're expected to stop being aggressive. That means no stealing, no stretching singles into doubles, and no forcing the defense to make unnecessary plays. Why? Because it's considered running up the score. It's about mercy, not strategy. But like many unwritten rules, this one's starting to fade as teams realize that comebacks happen, and games aren't truly over until the last out. Still, steal a base in a blowout, and don't be surprised if a pitch comes high and tight your next time up. Rule number 6, don't talk about a no-hitter in progress. This might be the most superstitious rule of all. When a pitcher is working on a no-hitter, nobody, not a teammate, broadcaster, or fan, is supposed to mention it. The belief is simple. Talk about it, and you'll jinx it. You'll often see the pitcher sitting alone in the dugout, with everyone giving him space. Of course, there's no scientific basis for it, but it's one of the most universally followed traditions in the sport. Even the most modern teams, with all their analytics, won't risk tempting fate. Conclusion: the code that never dies. Baseball's unwritten rules are as strange as they are fascinating, a mix of superstition, respect, and old-school pride. They don't appear in the official rulebook, yet they influence how players act, how rivalries form, and how the game polices itself. Some say they're outdated, relics of a bygone era. Others insist they're what give baseball its soul. But one thing's certain: understanding these unwritten rules helps you see the sport in a whole new light. Every glare, every pitch inside, every silent standoff between pitcher and hitter, it's all part of a deeper code that's been shaping the game for more than a century. So the next time you watch a big league game and see tension brewing, remember, it might not be about the scoreboard. It might just be about the rules that no one talks about. There is a human behind the making of this video. If you would like to buy that human a coffee so they can continue making great content for you, please go to the link in the description. And hey, if you love sports history and trivia as much as we do, be sure to share this video, hit the like button, and subscribe so you never miss a story from Trivia Bench.